All right, questions in the room for Coach. James, want to start?
Christie, obviously it's a win. I would imagine you want to perform better. So what do you take away from, finding a way to win, which matters the most, but also looking at some things that you have to improve on?
Yeah, no question. When I went in and told the players, I told them if we could get 50 points in the paint, we'd win the game. We ended up with, I think, 46. But we weren't doing that early. We were playing almost 5 out, and we just weren't getting the ball in the paint, which is what frees up our outside. So it started there. I don't know, it was just a grind. They were matching shots with us. I didn't feel that we were as sharp defensively as we've been. I didn't hear us talking as much as we've been doing. I think there's just been a lot of emotions today as well that might have played into, just trying to get going for this game tonight. The playoff clinch just, they were excited, and just that's huge for us. So I think that had a little bit to do with it. Not an excuse, but it just was a grind, and we grinded it out, and that's just where we've grown.
Go Chloe, Matt, Christine.
Yeah, Caitlin, obviously with her second triple-double, she also was the first rookie to have over 100 three-pointers made tonight. Just do her accolades surprise you anymore, or just how do you react to them?
She's been playing and doing things and just getting an understanding of the league. Every game she gets a little bit better. Every game she gets a little bit understanding of, the speed and the quickness. I don't think, we had some opportunities in the middle pick and roll with her and AB and her and Liz that I don't think we capitalized on it. And she and I talked about that for a minute. But I love the conversations with her about the game now. Like, we have more conversations in the game. I'm letting her, I want her to call some of the sets that we're running after free throws, just to, I want her to look who's out there with her, who's playing well. She's playing really well. She's shooting the hell out of the ball. And she's making sure she's finding those open players. She had some amazing assists tonight. Triple-double, second one for a rookie. Just really, really proud of her, and her continue to keep her teammates involved, and then also just her growth. It's been great.
Matt and Christine.
Yeah, Nalissa and Lexi score the fewest among the starters, but in the final 2 minutes, they each make a really big, impactful play. So I guess just how fulfilling is that for you to see that, and also how that reflects in this 7-1 stretch?
Yeah. That's what I told Liz just when we were in the locker room. She had a huge block. She came over on the help side and just literally, got vertical and had a huge block. And then Lexi Hull with that rebound and then holding on to it and then going to the line after they fouled her and, make those free throws. Those are just big plays. That's just them just grinding it out. But, not stop playing. Like, sometimes we would stop playing in certain instances, and that didn't happen tonight.
Go Christine, then Scott.
Christie, there's an ebb and flow to a season, right? And you're not going to have a team always be on top of their game. Caitlin said that pregame, and it seemed like, I guess I'm curious, do you feel that kind of was maybe this game for you guys? And then part two would be going back to the beginning after the Olympic break with the Phoenix game. That was set a tone, right? That you guys set the tone that has led to this.
Yeah.
So was it important to grind out this victory to set the tone for these next 5 that are coming at home?
Yeah, for sure. We're not trying to, we're not done yet. And I think that's kind of the we don't want people, our goal is to make the playoffs. And we've done that, and we have 6 games now remaining. And we've got to make sure that we are, we don't have anything to prove. I had someone tell me today, we don't have anything to prove. We just have to improve. I appreciate that advice. I thought that was really important because it's, we don't have to prove ourselves anymore. We just have to make sure we keep doing what we've been doing and finding ways to get that 1% better. I'm sorry, what was the first part of that question?
That sometimes there is
ebbs and flows. Yeah. I think just the emotions of today. Had we been in a situation where this game was going to make the playoffs for us, I don't think it had been the same game. I think it had been a different level of intensity. So I definitely think, but for me, them, staying together, grinding it out, getting this win, just shows so much growth and maturity.
Go Scott, then we'll go back on the right to Brad.
You started the season talking about closing games. This is one where you close that. I'm also curious, post-game, now that wins are expected, no longer kind of celebrated, how has that felt differently? Was that?
I said, whoa, we can't expect anything. I'm so, 5 wins in a row is huge. I think 2015 was the last time the Fever has done that. But we can't go there. We can't start thinking that way. Every game has to be the most important game, the next game, showing up, doing what we have to do to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to compete and get, and give ourselves a chance to win. 5 wins in a row is pretty awesome. And I'm not, it makes me smile, and I'm really happy for our players. Playoffs for the first time, but we can't stop now. We've got to keep growing. We have a lot of growing that we can keep doing, and we just want to make some noise once we start the playoffs.
We'll go down the line, Brad, then Akeem.
Christie, there's a second half toughness and a finisher's mentality that seems to have developed with this team over this stretch after the Olympic break. Where did that come from? Maybe did the break help that come out, and how has that been beneficial here in this 5-game winning streak in particular?
Yeah, I think more just them being in these games, having that experience in these kind of games, understanding the importance of runs that other teams, were making on us, and we weren't able to stop those runs and stop that bleeding. I think that's just part of our growth and maturity. These are the things that happened last year. These are the things that happened early for us that we've had to learn from. And I think they've really grown in that area. But, we did not start well. We did not, I think we gave up 29 points in the second quarter. We can't let that happen. We've got to be better defensively. That's where our focus is. That's where we think if we can be, average 6th or 7th in the league in defense, we give ourselves a much better chance to win.
Akeem, then Tony.
Coach, Aliyah said it just came down to taking care of the ball, but the first quarter turnovers and the way you guys rebounded and came back, what does it say about the growth of this team that you guys were able to respond when maybe earlier in the season this would have been a game that got away from you guys?
Yeah, earlier I think we had 11 turnovers in the first half and several early in the game that kind of set the tone, and everybody just kind of stood there, and we got in that timeout, and it was all about just us taking care of the ball, because it was turnovers on us. It wasn't anything that they were doing. We just had to make sure we were taking care of the ball and getting paint touches. We weren't getting paint touches that were going to help us, loosen up that outside. We had a time where it looked like we were a 5-out offense, and we're not a 5-out offense yet. Want to get to that. And that'll be really fun. But we've got to bang on the inside and establish that.
You told us before the game about a conversation you recently had with Aliyah about her player offense. To have her have this kind of game and the game-sealing shot, what did you think of her response to what you guys talked about? And how she played?
I just told her all business. She's been all business the last couple of days. Her voice is the one I keep hearing these last couple of days. She just, she came out and had a really, really good game tonight on both ends of the floor. When we get in that pick and roll situation with her and Caitlin, we're in a 3-on-2 on that backside, and, she's just got to be really aggressive, and she has an opportunity to take someone off the dribble or shoot that little pull-up. She missed a couple of those pull-ups, and I know she was really frustrated with that, but just heck of a game for Aliyah Boston tonight for us.
James, and last one in the room to Matt.
Caitlin played all 40 tonight. Obviously, it's probably not the plan. She said she could play another 40 right now, but I guess how do you feel that throughout the game? And then secondly, when she keeps breaking records and doing stuff, how much does her maybe not caring about that stuff help the team as a group?
Yeah, I love what, she said in the press conference earlier about Kelsey Mitchell and what she thought about Kelsey Mitchell and how she, deserved some awards. She really doesn't care about those things. She just wants to keep getting better, help her team get better, and us just keep moving forward to be the best team that we can be. But she's just she's growing and she's steady, and she's learning this game, and she's learning her teammates, and that's why we just have some really good things that keep happening, because they're learning each other. And if one is down, the other, we've got others that are stepping up all the time. Liz has been so solid the last 2 games. Melissa Smith didn't play in the fourth quarter in Dallas, but she was so solid to start that game and in the third, and then Dee Dee was in the fourth, and we were just getting some stops and just had a good flow. Same tonight, went back with Liz in the fourth quarter for Dee Dee, and she had a hell of a job rebounding in some help side defense, which she got that block. So they're just all figuring it out, and it's just, really fun for all of us right now to see that with them.
Matt, last one in the room, then we'll go to Zoom.
Yeah, in hindsight, you were able to pull out the win tonight, but I'm just curious, what's it like as a head coach navigating a lot of young players' emotions, maybe pent up with celebrating the playoffs?
Yeah, I just try to get a read off of them, get a feel for, where I think their heads are. The coaches, my assistant coaches do a great job. The players are kind of separated amongst all of them, and they have a really good feel for where they are. So before a game, during warm-ups, they'll come in and let me know, hey, this one just kind of really struggled right here. Maybe you should say something. So just trying to get a pulse on them. I mean, and you're right, they are young, and they're trying to figure it out, and that's just been part of that journey that we've been on this whole year. And probably the part of that was able to keeping it together. Young team could have gone in any direction early, and and I keep saying it, the character in that locker room is incredible. They're just great people. And it's just, it's just really, really been fun to watch them grow.
Go to Zoom, Rafiq, then Daniel.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. The Indiana Fever finally ended their playoff run. I mean, what has this development for the team overall been like for the Indiana Fever franchise?
Man, it's incredible. It's incredible for us to, have clinched early, use this opportunity to, work on some things over these next 6 games, continue to grow. But just, for the fans that have just been showing up night in and night out, on the road too, for them to enjoy this, and to have the Fever back in the playoffs, where they were several years ago. It's just an exciting time for the Fever franchise, exciting time for this young team and what the future has for these guys. I mean, that's for me is they keep growing and the sky's the limit for these guys.
Last two. Now we can help Rafiq. We got to go. Last two, Daniel, then Michael.
Sorry about that.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? This is Daniel Artest from the 9450. Melissa Smith has made a lot of sacrifices in her game this season to help this team reach the level of success that they're having right now. Looks like earlier in the season she seems to be struggling to adjust to this role, but recently she's really been thriving. Can you speak to how her willingness to sacrifice, adapt, and put the team first, and how had it impacted the growth of the Fever?
Yeah, all these guys have taken on a role. Some of them, it's not what they were used to or what they'd had in the past. But, Liz comes out and gets 13 and 4 for us tonight. She gets some huge blocks. She's a rebounding machine. She wants to win so bad and loves, she had put out a tweet about last year, about it's going to be so fun when we're in the playoffs next year. And, just the sacrifice she has. I mean, she's sacrificed touches, but she knows that if she keeps, the amount of attention that is on some of these players, it really loosens up Melissa Smith, really loosens up Lexi Hull, loosens up Caitlin Clark, and, Kelsey Mitchell and AB. I mean, they all draw so much attention. So she's able to find hers. And it's really nice when you can look at a stat sheet and, we've got several who are in double digits. I think we had 5 tonight in double digits. I mean, she's, that's how you win and have sustainable wins for the long run.
Yeah, last one, Mike Vopel.
Yeah, Coach Sides, obviously the toughest part of the triple-double for guards is the rebounds. I just wonder if you could talk about Caitlin's rebounding ability this season, something I feel like she's carried over well from college.
Yeah, I think she just moves in position always, to where the ball could possibly just come off the rim. She reads that really well. She crashes pretty hard all the time. Sometimes, want these guys to block out a little more, make sure we're getting five bodies on people. I think once we get more consistent with that, that'll be great. But, yeah, it's tough, but, I mean, you know, she's able to get her hands on the ball wherever, you know, she sees that she's reading it off the rim from where the shooters are, which is, you know, that's just a skill for a lot of players.
All right, thank you. Questions for Aliyah and Caitlin? Where would I start? James going to start.
Caitlin, how aware are you at the end of a game, something like that? Obviously, you're not trying to, like, manipulate the game, but obviously people knew the last rebound is triple-double.
I mean, it's right next to the scoreboard, so I think everybody's pretty aware of what's happening. I mean, honestly, like, somebody had to get the rebound, and I was actually the closest one to the ball, so, yeah.
Aliyah, for you, I guess, how has it been just growing into a new role with this team this year and, I guess, picking your spots and having different games? It might keep 8 assists one night, 24 points tonight, and just knowing how to choose the spots.
Yeah, I think it's just about reading the floor and taking what the defense gives you. I feel like I just try to let the game come to me and not force it. So if it's a night where I have more assists than anything else, then that's what it's going to be. And then if it's a night where I can score the ball and get rebounds and assert myself on the boards, and that's what it's going to be. It's really just taking what they give me.
Tony.
Aliyah, Christie said she and you talked a little bit about your recent games, how they can help you get going. What do you feel like ignited you tonight and led to the big performance?
God. Seriously, I think, you know, you always want to play the best, and I feel like especially these past 2 games, for me, just making sure that I have a presence on the floor. And so tonight, I mean, it was just, you know, prayer, just knowing that he's equipped me for anything, and it was the game that we had tonight, and so I'm just super blessed.
Go Christine, then Lou.
For both of you, obviously lots of great positive things happened in the last 24 hours. Was it a little difficult to get back up for it? Obviously, LA was playing well, turnovers. You know, can you maybe describe your mindset when, you know, you've already accomplished so many goals, but of course you want to win the game, and you did, but how hard that is to kind of get through that on a night like this? Thank you.
Yeah, I thought we could have came out with a little more energy. I thought we seemed a little bit flat. And I don't think that wasn't because we felt complacent with already being in the playoffs or anything like that. I'm just not sure if our energy was quite where it needed to be. And I thought we could have picked that up a little bit better. We weren't always on the same page, and I think that kind of started from the beginning. We didn't really play with as much pace as we usually do. At moments, we definitely did. But I didn't think it was consistent throughout the game. And then obviously we could have taken care of the ball a little bit better. I think, you know, we win by 10 to 15, maybe even more than that if we just take better care of the ball. So I think something you go back and watch, and we know on Friday we got to come out with a lot more energy.
We'll go Lou, then we'll go in the back to Dom.
Last week, Coach was talking about the improvement in the team, and she cited toughness and maturity has come out in the last month since the Olympic break and those practices. Do you feel like this fourth quarter was an example of that, where, you know, you got challenged, you made some runs, but you couldn't put them away, but you had to fight them off again?
Yeah, I think, you know, over the course of the season, it's about making sure that we're able to close out games. And there were some games that we lost at the beginning of the season because our fourth quarter wasn't great. And so even going into this fourth quarter, you know, we just emphasized that, listen, this is the fourth quarter, 10 more minutes. We have to give it all our best. We knew that they weren't just going to lay down and let us take the game. And so just making sure that if they score, then we have to score and then get a stop. And that's really our mindset, especially in that fourth quarter.
We'll go Dom, then we'll go Akeem on the right.
Yeah, for both of you, just 6 straight home games, including tonight, to get that homestand started off with a win, knowing how well you've played already the second half. Crazy environment every night here. How's that feel to get that homestand started out right, and knowing that you're just going to be here at home for so long?
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, these are games you really need to win at home, and the more we can win, the better we can position ourselves for the playoffs. So, and also we're just a competitive group of individuals. Like, nobody wants to lose. That's not fun, especially in front of these fans that a lot of them, like, you know, they only get to see the Fever play one time, and they spend a lot of money to come here and watch us and have fun with us. So, you know, you want to kind of give them a show every single time we're in here. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. So don't take that for granted, because before we know it, the season will be over. And I think this team is just trying to go one game at a time. But to get the homestand started off on the right note, I think was super important. And it's just continuing to go one step at a time and continue to build that confidence. But I feel like we're playing really good inside this building, so it's just continuing to build on that.
Go Akeem, then we'll go James again.
Yep, and just kind of following up on Christine's question earlier, just when the turnovers start to kind of mount and build, what is said, or what do you guys do to kind of refocus and get back on the same page?
We get straight to it. We say we need to take care of the ball. I feel like that's as simple as it is. I mean, we know what we have to do, and most of the times it's silly mistakes. So making sure that we just pay attention, make sure that we're ready for it. But at the end of the day, like, just take care of the ball and make a good decision with it.
We'll go James and we'll go on Zoom.
Caitlin played 40 minutes tonight, entire game. Obviously, it probably wasn't the plan, but I guess how do you assess how you feel throughout a game? And do you ever ask to come out, or how did that go?
No. I like sprinting. I already told you guys.
She likes to run.
I don't know. Like, I feel like finding a balance of when to conserve my energy within the game and playing with pace at the same time. I think there's times where you can pick and choose. I think I've done better at that, and I think even over the last road stretch, the coaches found good minutes where I could get a quick breather. That becomes very important, especially in the fourth. But I felt tonight like I felt really good and could go the whole stretch. But it's never really they don't really ask me. It's not really my choice. It's more so I know what they're thinking and what we need in the moment. So. Yeah, I mean, I could probably go play another 40 minutes. I don't usually like to stop, so.
Go George on Zoom, then we'll finish with Mike.
George Goyak from the Just Take Goyak Sports Podcast. Caitlin, many rookies struggle to find both team and individual success in the rookie year. LeBron, Peyton Manning, and Connor Bedard did not make the playoffs in the rookie season. What does it mean to have team and rookie individual success?
I mean, I think it comes with just playing the game of basketball the right way. Coming in here, obviously, this organization hasn't been to the playoffs since 2016, and that was my main goal. And I felt like, once I got comfortable and kind of was, playing style of basketball that we wanted to play, which was up-tempo, which was playing off one another, plus playing, setting my teammates up for success. And I think also once my teammates kind of got used to playing with me, it's been pretty smooth sailing and fun basketball since then. And, everything besides team success, like that all just comes with when your team wins. Like you got to win to have all that on the side, and nobody really cares about that. People can talk about it. It is what it is. For me, like it's fun winning basketball games. It's fun walking off the court and the crowd's going crazy because you just won and you played a good game. So for me, like that's where my main focus is, and I think when I do that, everything else comes along with it. And I'm just thankful. I feel like I'm surrounded by really good people, really good coaches, really good teammates that allow me to be myself and set me up for success and have a lot of fun playing with me. So I've enjoyed every single second of it, and I think we're just going to continue to get better.
Last one, Mike Vopel.
Yeah, thank you. Caitlin, I just want to ask you a little bit about the defensive aspect of your game. Obviously, a lot of your rebounds are going to come on that end. You had 9 of them tonight on the defensive end, and then 3 steals, including that one late that was really key. How much do you feel like you've grown as a defensive player, and how that part of your game you feel like is really coming along?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm a pretty good on-ball defender. It's just the off-ball that I need to continue to work on. Sometimes I get caught, watching my man, or don't always rotate in the way that I need to. I get caught standing a little bit, and the rotations are very different than what I did in college. So I think it's still been a kind of a learning process for me, and I continue to go back and watch the film with Coach Jesse and continue to learn. So I think that's just the biggest area that I can improve is definitely my off-ball defense. But honestly, I think I just try to use my basketball IQ and understanding angles to make plays for my team on that end and try to get my, try to get deflections. And the one that happened late where we had to end up switching, I knew that was going to be the play just because coming off a ball screen, I come off a million ball screens, and AB wasn't letting her take the mid-range jump shot, so I knew she was going to try to dump it down to Hamby. So I tried to, cut it off and get my hand on the ball, and I was able to, and then Liz kind of picked it up. So I think just trying to use my IQ and my length and my speed at the same time, but I think the biggest area I can still improve is definitely my off-ball defense.